Smooth Health on the Drive.
It's a global observation that helps raise people's awareness.
Insightful tips and information to live in a healthier and happier life.
How to prevent it, detect or treat it.
Smooth Health is powered by Evercare Hospital, Lekki, transforming healthcare in Nigeria.
If you didn't know, now you know.
This is Smooth Health on the Drive.
Hello and welcome to Smooth Health on the Drive, brought to you by Evercare Hospital Lekki, right here on Smooth 98.1. So today we're speaking about managing your mental health in the workplace. And to be our guide in this conversation, we're joined by a special guest, Mosunmola Oriolowo. Mosunmola Oriolowo is a psychologist and a mental health therapist. She's also a stress management consultant, an image and etiquette expert with over 20 years experience in various sectors, which include telecommunications, oil and gas, and healthcare. She is a UK-trained psychotherapist and mental health therapist with in-depth counseling skills in challenging areas such as anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. She has acquired a wealth of experience in areas such as mental health, as well as general well-being of employees in the workplace. She also has experience in human resource management, client relationship management, image management, and protocol and corporate administration. Her love and passion for helping people and her natural problem-solving abilities have enabled her acquire knowledge and skills which have been very useful in addressing, managing, and supporting people going through emotional distress and other mental health challenges. As an experienced mental health therapist, her vast knowledge and counseling skills enable her adapt the appropriate counseling techniques to suit the client's needs. She's currently a consultant at Premier Hospital and Evercare Hospital, Lagos. Wow, what a resume.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to Smooth Health. All right, so this is a subject I believe a lot of people can relate with, although maybe something that people are not too comfortable speaking about. So let's get straight into it. We hear a lot about mental health and, what people face when it comes to work. Could you sort of describe what mental health is? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Well, we'll start first of all with the definition of mental health. And I will come from, I'll give the definition by WHO, World Health Organization. And the definition of mental health is a state of well-being where an individual realizes his own potential abilities and is able to cope with the normal stresses of life, work productively, and is able to contribute to his or her community. Then I will give another definition from Maslow, which is from the self-actualization point of view. That is where an individual can explore their potentials or talents. And mental health is more about wellness and not about illness. Right. That is ability for people to be able to, it's all about your cognitive, emotional, and social abilities and how you can stay healthy. So it's all about health, being able to do things normally and it's about being well and not unwell. That's all what mental health is. But then mental illness is different because you hear people mixing it up. When you say mental health, you hear people saying, I'm not a psycho, I'm well, I'm normal, but that is not it. Mental illness is different from mental health. If you start deviating from the norm of being mentally well, then you will shift to mentally unwell. That is where you can now develop mental illness. And different conditions, mental health conditions, can actually lead to someone developing mental illness.
Okay. Now, our good psychologist is here, and if you have a question for her or a comment, remember you can send those messages in via WhatsApp. The number is 0809 444 0981, or just give us a ring. The phone number to call is 014489 So when it comes to illness, it's quite easy when someone has physical illness. They can tell if they've got a fever, if they've got a headache. But when it comes to mental illness, are there any possible causes and signs that people should be looking out for?
Okay, I will describe that from a mental health continuum. That is a range where people can easily, that would be very easy for you to understand. When we have, from the continuum of the mental illness range, you have the first part is being healthy. And the second part, when you start deviating from being healthy, you move to the reacting part. And from there, you move to the injured part before you now get to that you're really unwell. That's the ill part.
Okay.
So there are things that for you to know that you're mentally well, that means you can function appropriately, you have normal moods, you sleep well, you're able to solve problems, your physical ability is okay, you know, you're a performer.
Right.
So you're healthy, mentally healthy. But the moment you start to have problems, your mood starts to fluctuate. You start having like highs and lows. You're sad today, you're happy tomorrow. You start to procrastinate. You're getting tired. You start having disturbed sleep. People that are aware of their body and know, you know, something is going on. I'm not well. This is not me. Then that is where you now start to pay attention and try to identify, okay, something is wrong. Am I stressed? Or what are the triggers? Then you can actually tell that something is going on because you can't see it. You can only feel it. Then from there, when you now move to the injured part, that is where your behavior, you start getting really angry unnecessarily, you're irritable.
Wow. Then
you have difficulty sleeping. Maybe your eating habits to change. Then there's decreased performance. You can't sleep, you can't even do anything. You start to withdraw from social gathering. That is where there's already a problem. And when you start feeling that way, it's always good for you to seek help, talk to someone and say something. There must be triggers. Try to identify, where is this coming from? Why is it affecting me this way? What can I do about it? Can I handle it? Okay, let me talk to someone that can help me with this. I can't, my problem solving skills is being altered. So what can I do? But then when you don't do anything and you get to the ill part, that is where it is really, really severe. Everything is now excessive. Everything is going wrong. That is where you develop the mental illness phase.
Wow. So, is there a particular, perhaps a time frame where if you feel some of these symptoms and they don't clear up, because, you know, sometimes people are a bit stressed and they might feel either of these or a combination of all, and then after a while they just get better without any further intervention. So is there a time frame that you should be worried about if within this time you don't feel better and it seems like it's extended?
Yes. Something else I forgot to mention, you need to pay attention to is, if it depends on the mental disorder, the symptoms you start to exhibit. But when they're consistent for a particular period of time, for example, maybe you're this happy-go-lucky person, you now start to withdraw, you don't want to go out, you don't want to talk to anybody, you're having problems sleeping, and it's affecting your day-to-day activities. That is when you need to know something is going on. That means you can't even function, you can't cope with stress, you can't do anything. That is where you know, I can't do this alone. I need to seek help.
Is it always easy for people to make that realization and say, I need help?
Well, because mental health is something that people are just beginning to pay attention to, the whole environment, even workplace, the government, everybody, Lagos State government is doing a lot about it. You know, so they are actually encouraging people to speak, to speak out, to seek for help, because it's not easy. And there's so many people that don't even pay attention to their body and can't realize it. Some people don't even know the symptoms of depression. So when you're going through this, you don't know what it is. So, but if you go to the hospital and complain to your doctor, this is how I'm feeling, your doctor will tell you, you know what, you need to see a psychologist or a therapist. They can tell. So anytime you feel any of these things, please go and see your doctor, and your doctor will recommend the appropriate thing to do.
All right, Mosun, can mental health illnesses be prevented or properly managed? And if yes, how can employees and individuals basically manage these illnesses?
For you to, it can be, it varies to say that it can be prevented. It's maybe you can't predict what is going to happen to you if you don't know what you're going to meet anywhere you go to. Stressful life situations, you don't know when somebody dies or how it's going to affect you, or you lose money, or you lose your job, or you have a failed relationship. You don't know how it's going to affect you, so you can't say you can prevent it. But there's some people that are prone and they can easily develop a mental illness from this normal stressful life situations. And this could be people that already have it in the family, like it's inherited. Yes, you inherit mental illness.
That is a scary thought.
Yes, so those causes, if you know that there's someone in the family that has this, some people need to be careful, because that's when you experience stressful life situations, it can be a trigger.
Right.
Yes, and then you have environmental factors as well, which can contribute. Those are things that you don't have control over. And then you have the chemical imbalance of the brain. These are things that you can't see or you can't control, but it could be managed. The only way, there are different ways you can manage the situations. And at the workplace, it's not a clear-cut situation. How, first of all, you need to have the buy-in of the organization.
Right.
They need to support the cause of mental health. They need to understand. Managers, human resources, they need to be trained and equipped with this information of how to help people. They should allow people speak out when they have these problems. So it is not really a clear-cut answer or solution to mental health and how you can prevent or manage it. But it's something that there's things that you can identify if you feel that you've been diagnosed with a mental illness. Then you can actually work on how to manage your stress levels and how to increase your resilience to situations, and also how to boost your self-esteem. So those are ways you can manage or prevent them. Or you have to go to the doctors, go for regular checkups. And when you notice that something is happening, you can tell that this is not me, go and see a doctor. Or don't wait until it gets to the severe part or it's really bad before you get someone to help you.
Okay, what are some of the issues that surround mental health in the workplace, and how could mental health actually affect a person's performance at work?
Okay, when we talk about that, I'll answer that in two phases. When you talk about the issues surrounding mental health at the workplace, you've got first of all, you talk about the culture of the organization. What is the culture of the organization? What did they start with? Did they put this into consideration that if a member of staff is struggling, maybe there's something happening at home and the staff goes to HR to complain that have this problem, can I take some time off? Some organizations say, it's not my business if you have a problem at home, you've not had the baby, or you just got divorced, or that's not my business. Just come to work and do your job. And if you cannot cope, I'll fire you. You have a lot of culture like that. But what employers fail to understand is, if you're not getting the optimal potential of your employee.
Yes.
It's still, you feel you're making money and you feel your employees are giving you the best, but you're wrong. If they're not mentally okay, that means they're giving you the minimum capacity they can. But then if their mental health, they're on the continuum of being healthy, they're going to be performers, they're creative, they're spontaneous, they know what they can operate within the morals and values of the organization, they have fantastic problem solving skills. All this will add to the bottom line of the organization at the end of the day, and their revenue will, their bottom line, their financial returns will increase. But they don't know this. Then you have issues of the role of the organization, your role in the organization. Maybe you've been complaining. There are a lot of you misfits, and there's poor remuneration, there's redundancy, there's a fear of job insecurity, there's working relationships with your supervisors, there's bullying, there's discrimination. There are a lot.
I can see where the HR part comes in.
So there's a lot of favoritism. All this at the end of the day affect the performance affect the mental health of employees. And we have the work schedule of employees as well. Then we have the interpersonal relationship, career development. All this will affect the work performance of employees at the end of the day. Because if those issues are not treated or addressed, you have people getting absent from work, either by mental health or the physical health, where you can have, high BP, aches and pains, migraines, you don't want to come to work. Then you have, your work performance, there's reduction in productivity, increase in error rates, you have deterioration in planning and control of work, then the staff attitude and behavior, loss of motivation, there's relationship at work, tension and conflicts between colleagues, poor relationship with clients. So this is how the issues at work affect productivity of employees.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll ask the doctor your questions, and we have a lot more to talk about, because this is something that unfortunately seems to be on the increase.
Yeah.
All right, this is Smooth Health on the Drive. Stay tuned.
This is Smooth Health on the Drive.
It's a global observation that helps raise people's awareness.
Smooth Health is powered by Evercare Hospital, Lekki, transforming healthcare in Nigeria. Is Smooth Health on the Drive.
It's a global observation that helps raise people's awareness.
Smooth Health is powered by Evercare Hospital, Lekki, transforming healthcare in Nigeria.
It's Smooth Health on the Drive on Smooth 98.1. We're talking about managing your mental health in the workplace. Our special guest is a psychologist and a mental health therapist, Mosunmola Oriolowo. We're speaking about mental health and work. You're welcome to be a part of the conversation. If you have a question for our psychologist, please send them to us via WhatsApp 0809 444 0981, or you can actually give us a call 01 4489 981. So, Mosun, coming back to this, how can you tell if an employee or an individual has a mental illness, and can you tell when it actually starts affecting them?
Okay, you can, if you are a fellow employee, if you pay attention, you know that there's a change in behavior or the cognitive or social aspects of the colleague. So there are things you can pay attention to. You can look at the person becomes unhealthy or unkept appearance. The person comes, maybe the person looks good most of the time. The person starts to withdraw. The person is not much of a talker. The person stops picking his or her phone, and you have decrease and lack of productivity. They get angry easily. They get irritable. They start develop developing erratic behavior, then they start to worry unnecessarily. They have this unnecessary or excess fear to do things. They always want to take off. They're not having adequate sleep. If you know, you can tell from those things. That is, if you pay attention, because a lot of people will not speak out. So you can't see that. They won't speak. You see everyone. You have people that have suicidal ideation. They don't. Some of them will talk to people. They cry out for help before doing what they need to do. But some people don't. So you see happy people.
Yeah.
But then you can't tell that this is what this person is going through. But then if you were someone that pays attention, you will notice a change in the person's behavior. They start to avoid things. They start to withdraw. Even though they're, once in a while, you see them being happy, go lucky. But you really need to pay attention to be able to see most of the signs. Then they become moody. Their mood swings. They have the highs and lows.
So they're happy one second and not so happy
the next second.
Right.
And so these are the signs you need to just pick from people that just always remember the healthy continuum, the mental health continuum range. If the person does not sit into the healthy parts and starts to exhibit those other things, deviating from the healthy parts, that's when you know the person is actually might be suffering from a mental condition.
Okay, so we've spoken about, the responsibility of a person to understand that maybe they don't feel the way they normally would, and then, colleagues who associate with them who also notice a change. But what about the employers? What's their responsibility? What can they do to actually make sure that a work environment is conducive?
First of all, what the employers can do, we'll still go back to the culture of the organization. They need to have the buy-in of that. First of all, if they don't have the buy-in, they're not going to. Like I said earlier, organizations only believe do your job and get out of my office. I'm paying you. They don't care. But you see, what they need to understand is their employees are their assets. They need to take care of them. And remember that people spend how many hours of their days at work. The work has to be a happy place, a conducive place. You should be able to perform, excel, self-actualize at the workplace. So employees need to take into consideration how their employers need to take into consideration how their employees feel. They need to they need to have a culture that supports employees' mental health struggles. They need to be able to find a way to support them if someone is having problems. Okay. They need to be able to have employee assistance programs that supports mental health issues and provide the adequate support when the employees are going through this. And I tell you, this mental health thing, as mental health concerns, has really increased over time. The difference from before the pandemic and now, it's really gone up.
Yes.
Lagos State did the research and they reported the data saying mood disorder increased from 2018 to 2021 from 3.3% to 9.8%.
Wow, that's a leap.
And anxiety increased from 5.7 to 15.8. Then you have substance abuse from 3.7 to 13.3, and you have psychotic behavior from 1% to 4%.
Wow.
And from this percentage, how are you sure that most of them don't fall into the workforce of the economy? So that is something that we need, because everybody works. Either you're an entrepreneur or you work for any which way. People work because you need to survive. So this percentage, you have a percentage of people going through these things in the workforce. So this is where employers need to pay attention and take this into consideration. The way they take your physical health, you go to the hospital when you're sick, you need to pay attention to your mental health as well, because they go hand in hand together.
Right. And I can imagine if you're in a work environment, you notice that a colleague is not quite themselves, you also start to feel a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, but then again, all you need to do is just show concern. Do not discriminate. Don't make it part of gist and say what is wrong, or just try and show concern. Talk to the person. If the person is not willing to talk, be nice. Tell the person, go and seek help. Go talk to someone. You might just be tired and stressed. You don't know what to do. Just encourage them to talk, speak. You know what? It's okay. We all feel like this one way or the other. People just need to be nice and to show concern and care towards their fellow employees.
Okay. So Mosun, what are the possible healthy lifestyle choices that individuals could make to actually help reduce the risk of mental health and mental health illness or conditions?
I'll still go back to the continuum. You just have to struggle to stay healthy. That is all. Make sure your mental health is the regular thing. You have to be physically active. You eat good food, things. Try to differentiate where the things that will be harmful to your body and the things you're not meant to take, and try to avoid substance abuse, alcohol. If it's not good for you, try to limit it or avoid it. Then you need to be you need to be socially active. Don't withdraw. Don't stay away from people. It actually helps to have people around you. Being isolated it's not really good. Then you need to know how to manage stress, especially know how to identify your triggers and know how to cope and manage. Even if you don't have, because some people actually cannot do it.
Right.
They don't have problem-solving skills. You should still meet people that will help you solve your problems if you have a challenge with that. These are things that stress people. I always say, if there's a problem, look for the different possible ways to solve that problem. A problem unsolved leads to all these mental health concerns.
Okay.
So if you're finding it difficult, something is disturbing you, something is bothering you, have an unresolved conflict, always try and see the best possible way to resolve it. If you can't do that, because if you have unresolved conflicts, they affect other things in your body. You are not able to sleep. It affects your eating habits. It affects your performance. So going back to the continuum of being healthy.
Right.
So anytime you feel that you cannot manage stressful or you have a problem, you cannot solve it, try and talk to someone that can help you break those problems into manageable bits and take them one after the other. Everybody does not have the same mental capacity. Some people are a little bit impaired with their thinking and making decisions.
Okay.
So if you can assess yourself and know that I have a problem with this, find someone that can help break those things down for you and make it easy for you to be able to make and reduce the number of stress you go through.
All right, we've got a message, and this is from WhatsApp. Aisha Tilola says, please help me ask the psychologist, how can we convince someone whom we know needs help but is unwilling to get the professional help for mental health issues? Most attack you and believe you're attacking them a mad person.
That is a very difficult thing to do, but you just have to keep on persuading them and encourage them to go. And sometimes it depends on the approach. Some people don't know. You have a lot of people come to see you with an attitude and tell you, why are you here to see the psychologist? You hear them saying, I don't know, the doctor said I should come, so there must be a problem. What is it? They come with that defense already, that I don't have a problem. But when you do your job That's why you need to you have the skills to talk to someone and put their guards down. You'll find that the next thing is they break down and stay crying, and they'll reach out to you. So there are just ways and approach to make someone seek the help that they need.
All right, Tally says a typical Nigerian organization's culture is to bash, attack, and shout at employees during meetings, coupled with threats of queries and getting fired. So there's no respite with employers. Individuals would need to look elsewhere. Religious bodies do not help either. Nigerians, most of us need help.
I know everybody says that, but
some days I think I need help.
No, everyone needs. Even what is going on right now in the country, it's enough to even make anybody that is healthy move from that continuum. It is, but like I said, if you know yourself, you know your abilities, you know what you can do and what you can't do, you know the people to talk to help you. I don't know how to do this. What can we do? This is what you should do. This is what, reduce this, try and manage this, don't be excessive with this. There are ways you can go about these things. If you can't do it, talk to people that can help you break it down.
Okay, we're almost out of time, but I have a final question, Mosun. Tell us how the individuals listening can contact you at Evercare Hospital.
Okay, yes. The Evercare website is www.evercare.ng. The phone number is 08139850710. You can call to book to see the psychologist anytime you feel you have a problem. And the email is info@evercare.ng.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mosun Oriolowo, for being with us on the show today. Mosun Oriolowo is a psychologist from Evercare Hospital. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's it for Smooth Health on the Drive. Do stay tuned. The Smooth Drive continues.